Yeah, had lost saving grace opportunity. Looks for the kill to Berserk, but not going to be able to get that as the beautifully timed ultimate comes through. As actually hold that, thought the double kill. Looking for that trade, but the shotgun is going to be doing too much work. The Winions though trying to finish off that last little damage. Still available. Flashes in, misses the timbers, but does get the kill nonetheless. And Blade stunned on the turret. What are you guys doing? The double, looking for the triple force to flash out. Peanut coming in a little bit late for that one.
A deadly virus them mostly, and then the game one is where they had good landing phases, but they couldn't answer macro-wise. And I wish I saw that again from Mpangeni, but unfortunately, Berserk just not able to 1v5 like he did the previous game.
Yeah, I'll be honest, the chat bot or Streamlabs, I don't know if we're still up or not. Stopwatch coming in, Clash, that little bit of health left. And the fight continues. Wraith does go down. Mott not able to be assassinated for this team fight, so he can quite easily allow his team to win and carry to victory. He got deleted in the previous team fight, and that resulted in the game.
Speaking of
Humane can be flashing plus smizing the cap means that the cap will go over to Peanut, but Humane survives with his life, it seems. Last Airblade might make an attempt. He does. Ignite applied. The Turtle Form shield might just be enough to keep him alive. It will actually. Airblade just walking away from that one.
Wait it out. If they do face check, then we do actually Mr. Poe is a bit low, and they are going to re-back. It's actually a bit risky. I mean, speaking of risky,
send a couple of members. Jungler not taking to the Shadow Realm with the QSS, not gonna keep him alive, but Mr. Poe's ultimate now down. No smite available from the side of for the double. Opts to back off, flash available with the re-attempt. The flash there is Bumpkin Boy just surviving, dropping the smite for a little bit of health back. The jacked up stuff, holding my head, a bit of trouble. No. Rift Code not secured, blue team securing that, so that's gonna be Jack picking them up. Plus the Sindra kill not looking too good as they do neutralize that 4-4.
I'm gonna have to look out for this bot lane, and then they say that I think later on. At the moment, actually not doing too badly, keeping up with CS, still pretty even with the Caitlyn, so that's pretty impressive.
Well, that's a bit of fancy feat coming through. Airblade, lots of damage, does get the solo kill, so that mid lane pressure from Peanut working out quite nicely. Acted out.
Yeah, and I think that could have been very successful for them, but they were sort of split up a bit. Leona was sort of going over to focusing the Thresh. Diana.
Diana for the flank. Zenith Blade, the flash out from the Great. First blood going to be going through as Rammus finishes off Diana.
Going for them at the moment was they were making really fast rotations. And welcome, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. We are here now with the final game of the High School Esports League for Telkom VS Gaming 2019. You are joined here by myself, SinisterSmiley, and Sheepii here on the cast. And we are here for an exciting game between two of the giants of the League of Legends esports teams. On the left side, we have Grantleigh High School, and on the right, we have PRG or Paul Roos Gymnasium. Very, very hyped games. I mean, we saw yesterday, technically PRG has the highest rank player in the whole tournament, but with like an overall medium-ish ranking, like average ranking team. And then we have on the side of Grantleigh, we have actually a fairly high-ish above averages team, but they have also a plat player. So it just seems like Grantleigh overall has a very textbook type play style. They like to clean out the games fairly easily. They don't mess around too much. I don't see them dropping too many objectives by any chance. But yesterday we saw a lot of shakiness from Paul Roos. So it's going to be interesting to see what's going to happen in this good old best out of 5.
Yeah, so straight off the bat we've got that Kai'Sa lock in, and yesterday it did fool us. Potential flex pick as they did drop it into that jungle role. Peanut picking that up, so we'll have to see whether that is going to be the AD carry with the jungle Kai'Sa. On the other hand, Echo locked in, and we did get some morning action earlier today. In that previous series, you guys did miss it. The Echo popping off pretty hard. So we've already caught the GHS guys for the first series, so let's see whether they've been masking anything, if keeping anything for the finals. But I believe this is actually a best of 5 opposed to the standard best of 3 format up to this point.
And it's worth noting that we are actually seeing exactly the same picks so far from Grantleigh High School that we saw in the first game against Jep in the last series we casted. We have the Echo first pick. We saw an amazing Echo play coming through from Flying Pig from that on that Echo last time, and I'm really keen to see this time how he's going to play it again. That being said, though, the jungler spot is still open. I just want to quickly see here if they play Gragas, because if they do, that means they can still counterpick the Kindred. Gragas is a really, really good counterpick for Kindred. And I know Kindred is something that Peanut also plays, so they're going to have to maybe try and counterpick that since he's already, taken that pick into the first pick phase, so it means it is still counterpickable.
Yeah, but didn't they normally ban both the Kane and the Kha'Zix from Peanut?
That's true, so that is still open, but I mean, maybe just Peanut just feels like he wants to rather pull out the Kindred this game. Maybe they have a good old idea behind it.
Yeah, I remember back in the day, VS Gaming, the main scene, the Tara Kindred combo becoming super like contested between the WRG and all the top teams back then. So that was something that was sort of played around very like you guys can't kill us comp. So the Kindred ultimate stacked into that Tarek. Perhaps something like that. But so far we have the Gangplank pickup again. Surprisingly working incredibly well in that first series actually. So we'll see whether they have it in them to make the plank work twice in a row.
I like the fact that Grantleigh is going for picks here that you can obviously see they're comfortable on. They've played it today already. They've already warmed up on these picks. It's stuff that they played today. The one interesting thing though here is that they've actually gone for a lot. There's a lot of CC on the side of PRG at the moment. They have the Malzar, they have the Leona, and this is also what I talked about yesterday. If they lock in this Jarvan, where are they going to put the Kindred? I mean, maybe Jarvan top, then Kindred jungle.
Yeah, it would be Jarvan top.
That's
fairly common. Into a Darius though, I think he might just struggle to be honest, so don't know if I agree with that Jarvan pick. The Larkin coming through now. Interesting comps.
So it
Interesting
seems,
comps.
it seems like we're not going to have the Echo in mid lane. Actually, mid lane. That's actually an Echo jungle by the looks of things.
Yeah.
Going to be.
That's what they played earlier though.
Yeah, it's because they're just saying. I mean, it obviously still can be flex. So it's obviously good to just see up until the end of the swapping phase if they will just swap it around. I mean, they can maybe still pull out that spicy swap for us for all we know. But
most likely going to be that Jace Nautilus bot lane, GP mid, Darius top, and Echo in the jungle. Versus Kai'Sa on a bot lane, Kindred jungle, Malzahar mid, and Jarvan top. Jarvan though, exhaust? I don't quite know about that one. I feel like it's meant to be either Ignite or TP, and exhaust a bit of a new one for me.
Yeah, I mean, it's sort of a summoner that some people take in a 1v1 type of situation if you take like Exhaust Ignite, but that obviously it's a flash exhaust, so it's not going to really work here. But I don't know, there we go, last minute TP swap. I don't know if there's something with this patch.
I think it's a spectator bug, yeah.
Yeah, because this is like the second time or even more times that this has happened to us, which looked like they were going to take one thing and they take another.
Yeah, maybe just as an update on the last tick. It could be just to prevent ghosting, to be honest.
Actually, yeah, that is true. But yeah, it's going to be an interesting top lane matchup to see who's going to win between this Darius and Jarvan. Darius taking the Ghost, very aggressive summoner. He will not have that TP up, but that being said,
I'm more like interested in the Malzahar, dude.
Sorry, say again?
I'm more interested in the fact that Malzahar's gone for Ignite opposed to like a TP. Don't really see that many Ignites at Malzahar.
Yeah, probably just going to want to be more aggressive. I think both teams maybe just want to, I don't know. I wonder if these two teams have scrimmed each other. Don't know if high school teams scrim that often. Because
I know that there's been a couple of scrims for, I think, McLean side versus some of the regular VS Gaming teams. Don't know about versus other high school leagues, though.
Because maybe they just feel like they want to take these aggressive summoners to straight up just try and power through laning phase. Maybe just win. I don't know. It's obviously the first game of this best out of 5. So maybe both teams just playing around, seeing what they're, testing the waters.
But we'll jump into the rift in just a second, guys. Game number 1 of the best of 5. Predictions for the entire series. Do you feel like this is going to be the quick 3-0, or are we going to go all the way to game number 5? What do you rate?
I definitely think both of these teams have a lot to show. I don't know if it's going to be a 3-0, but I don't know if it's going to be a 5-game series. It feels like because it's a high school team, once one of the teams gets rolling, it's probably going to start being a problem. So I think if we go more than 2 games, then it's done after that. Other than that, I'd maybe like a 3-2 or something like that. I don't know. I mean a 3-1.
3-1 in which direction would you have to? If you had to put money on it?
To be
Are you a
honest,
betting man?
because I've seen more consistency from them, I'm definitely going for Grantleigh at this stage. I don't know.
So
I don't
a
know
blue
what.
side win?
Definitely, I will say. Obviously, as you can see, me and Sheepii actually spoke about this just before the cast started. We actually have noticed that Peanut has been spamming ranked since yesterday. Actually, ranked up from Diamond 4 to Diamond 3 within a day. So he's obviously
Back up.
yeah, and also he's been playing some Kindred. He's on 62 games and 53 win rate on the Kindred.
Yeah, I mean, dude, Peanut, one of the few guys who do that early morning grind. Like, for example, was myself, Tilt, and Peanut grinding at 3 or 4 in the morning on some nights, just checking who's still online. That's so lucky. I think he went all the way up to D1 and back to D4 this season, if I'm not mistaken. A bit of a streak player to an extent. Let's see what he can do with the Kindred, though. Do you know if he has any Kindred games on his stats?
Yeah, that's exactly what I just said. He has 62 games with a 53% win rate. Yeah, so definitely one of his top 5. Kane, Pantheon, Jarvan, and Kindred. I would and Rammus apparently, but I mean, I don't know if he's going to play Rammus in a team.
I mean,
setting.
Rammus would be picked as a counter, really. That would be just
Yeah.
more into a good matchup.
Yeah, definitely. I'm still very speculative about, and I don't know. That's also when I saw the Jarvan, I would think maybe they can flex it. But Kindred can't really go to other roles except maybe ADC. But his Jarvan, he has 75 games on Jarvan with a 60% win rate and a really, really good KDA. And we haven't seen him play Jarvan once this whole tournament. So my question is, if we go to, let's say, game 5, and he starts maybe like bringing out different junglers because they either start banning him out because they see different power picks from him during the series, will he start bringing out the Jarvan because maybe he's been just holding it in the back pocket, hoping that people won't notice that his Jarvan is really good and then bringing it out later? So still, maybe he's working himself from the bottom up because Kindred would be 4th, then Jarvan, then Pantheon, then Kane. So maybe he's working
Are you
himself from
giving
the
away
bottom
his
up.
picks?
Maybe
Are
we'll have
you
to see.
leaking the strategies, dude? How do you know he's not saving that Jarvan pick for later in the series?
That's what I'm saying, dude. And I mean, maybe players are ghosting me now. Maybe they have a coach listening to what I'm saying. But I'm telling you, he's making
If there
himself
are any teachers listening from either schools, no leaking strategies. We're watching you. But nonetheless, guys, we'll jump into the roof for the first game now. GHS versus PRG, best of 5, and we know both these sides like their cheeky invade. So let's see whether Peanut gets caught up for the first blood again, like the series that we casted yesterday, actually. I wish there was a high school league back in my day. We would main target that. I had my mates and I used to play league together. Gaming society. Good times. No leagues though, unfortunately.
Yeah, apparently I told my parents about this game, and apparently because they're from Cape Town, so they're pretty amped that Paul Roos is in the finals, being a Cape Town school apparently.
Yeah.
But other than that, Grantleigh is from, I believe it's what's it called, Richards Bay, I believe,
Okay.
just north of Richards Bay. So both of these schools are more to the Cape Town side of the world. People with the good ping, unfortunately. Not sure how
You know
Richards
what they
Bay ping
say?
stacks up to Cape Town.
All the good league players are from Cape Town. Kappa.
Is Peanut from Cape Town? I can't remember. I'm not sure.
I don't know, to be honest.
So looking quickly at all the yapping we've been doing and loading screen, we actually didn't touch on any runes or anything. It doesn't seem like there's anything very odd looking at everything quickly here. Yeah, everyone's runes and summoners seems fairly standard, except for obviously the aggressive summoners we spoke about in Champ Select, that got Darius taking Ghost, and the Ignite from the Malzahar. So we'll have to see how those two will stack up in laning phase. Definitely, yeah.
Effort.
I was just going to say, it definitely feels like they're going to have to use these as a laning tools instead of waiting for the late game. Otherwise, it's going to be they're going to be sad that they did not take TP.
We were just discussing where the schools were, so obviously the players are from the location of the schools, because that's where they get a score.
Yeah.
Last Airblade, taking a little bit of damage, so straight off the bat, the pirate just applying the pressure to Malzahar, which is interesting because Mals tends to be pretty decent at shoving lane. Kindred moving his way to the jungle, same with the Echo. So we can kind of see that Peanut's starting to take the series a little bit more serious, not playing more random stuff, but rather towards his most played champions in solo queue at least.
Yeah, I mean, the more you think about it, even if you take into account yesterday, it feels like he's been slowly just working up to his best picks. So that's why my theory just holds even more true the more I think about it. Because I mean, yesterday everything was banned, and if you look at his Kha'Zix, even though we know he plays Kha'Zix very well in the competitive setting, and we've seen him play it earlier this year, he doesn't actually have a really good win rate on Kha'Zix. His solo queue Kha'Zix, if you would look on paper, is not that good.
Which is probably why the team hasn't considered banning it this time. But, I mean, when he played for the GG side, which is a VS Gaming team, he was pretty much on Kane only patrol whenever it was available, just picking that up. And that was what his solo queue flavor of the month was as well, so it's kind of understandable that's being banned every year.
Yeah, to be fair, he has 545 games on Kane. Sheepii, I think that's even more than your Janna.
That's definitely more than 40.
Wait, you only have 40 on Janna?
No, I was saying considering he can definitely be a main. To be honest, I don't know. Do you only include this season? To be fair, I haven't actually played that much rank this season.
Oh yeah, no,
like
of course
450 games.
We're not taking into total, but yeah. So I definitely would see why everyone would ban this. I mean, he played a solo queue game an hour ago on Kane and had a very, very good source. Speaking of, there's a gank going on a mid lane. Echo, counter gank.
Kindred is still recalling. Will he cancel? He does. He's here for the counter. A counter versus a regular gank sign. Force the flash wave. Prowler may just go down for the first blood. He does. Kindred able to pick up that kill. So nicely done so far. And one kill, first blood going over to the side of PRG. Bot side though, Dover. A lot of damage. Abnormal slime. Zap. He'll force out the passive. Gonna be procced. Abnormal. The Zenith play connected, but a little bit of shield may just be enough as Abnormal is left behind. Modern Goblin picking up that first blood for the bot side. At least may just trade off Jin. Force the flash away, and Death Killer just finding himself in an awkward situation.
And that's pretty important, I think, here for Grantleigh. I mean, that first blood in mid lane is definitely going to be really good for Kindred. Kindred is probably going to be the main carry in this game. And having the Jinx get these 2 kills is going to put them even in a better place to carry. And I'm going to be interested to see who's going to be carrying harder between the two. I mean, Kindred is, like we said, something that Peanut does play, so he's definitely comfortable on it.
So first Drake of the map is going to be that Cloud Drake, so the extra bonus movement speed available for either team that does make the play for it. So touching back on that mid lane gank, the rule of thumb is that a counter gank is worth twice as much as a regular gank because of the fact that the enemy jungler overinvests to try and create the opportunity, which then puts him in an awkward position if he does get caught out, which is exactly what happened there. Kindred recalling in a very good position, realizes hang on echoes, overextending, cancels the recall, just moves middle and picks up a free kill for it.
It seems like the Gangplank is really proficient at farming. It seems his farm is doing really good at the moment, and when I just see him every time farming mid, he doesn't just simply basic attack minions. He uses his Q and barrels in a very good way to actually rack up that what's it called, serpents, to actually stack up and get the gold onto his ultimate to upgrade it. So it seems like he really does have really good proficiency on this Gangplank.
Thompson on the other hand, Darius starting to dictate the pace of the lane, which is not exactly what you could afford as a Jarvan. Jarvan wants to win lane. He's an early game based character. So by not making plays top means that you will have to force something somewhere else on the map, potentially using that teleport to get another lane ahead, otherwise you will fall off pretty hard in comparison. This is why I'm kind of surprised by the top lane Jarvan pickup. Oh, Kindred. Dover stepping up a little bit too far, the slow applied. Missile point.
Interesting.
More coming from it there.
Interesting fact here to point out that the Jinx actually showed off a level 4 mastery there on Jinx. If you guys didn't know, it doesn't seem like he is actually a ADC main. Looking at his rank, it's actually a jungle / mid main. So
okay, so just fully in the role.
Yeah, basically. Well, technically, is like the highest rank in the team. He is plat 2. So
explains the CS mechanics comparison to majority of the other AD carries that he's versed.
Oh,
flag and dragon, the turret is going to be completely clean, taking 2 turret shots. May just be in a little bit of trouble. Turns back on the dunk, it's going to be there. Boss side though. Flying pig, peanuts. Abnormal slime. Monicon pick up the first one, does get the passive of Jinx now. Peanut a little trouble drops that the ultimate meaning that he will not be able to die for a little bit, but delays the inevitable as he does end up going down. Get death kill on the other hand.
And
Flying pig.
what's is your fight done, Sheepii? Sorry. What's your time? I think we should sync up. I might be ahead.
8:10.
Okay, I'm on 18.
11.
So I'm gonna pause on
12.
8 to 20.
Cool. 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Go. 21. Okay.
Okay, perfect. Right, so what I want to touch on there is the fact that even though Kindred did pick up a kill for herself in return, the Jinx picked up another kill, and now she has a BF sword and a pickaxe, which is going to be really, really good for her in this lane. But not only that, is we saw how well the Flying Pig played Echo in the previous series, and the fact that he also has 2 kills now, even though he's at a rank disadvantage to Peanut, I really think that giving him, this is his main, by the way, we talked about him, this being his main and playing so well on it, so I think giving these skills over to him is definitely going to put him in a good position to carry these games.
We'll have to see whether he can use that lead that he got on Kindred, the advantage. I mean, Kindred tends to sort of want to scale up, not exactly the strongest of early game junglers in terms of ganking. So he's gotten off to a pretty good start so far. Look at him basically build up those, what are they called? Stacks. What's the actual term for Kindred stacks?
Kindred stacks. I'm not sure. Let's quickly see. It's Mark of the Kindred. There we go.
Yeah, so she wants to basically pick up her marks, get to the point where she gets a lot stronger and potentially solo carrying. Almost like the Kai'Sa of the jungle.
Level
Same
7.
concept. Force the flash away. The Flying Pig may be in a bit of trouble. Has the ulti, not gonna be able to catch out Peanut though. He's ready, he's watching for when that position of the ghost is. The flag and drag flash combo wants to disengage.
That was very close, but also very nice of Peanut there to anticipate the ultimate there from the Echo. You could see he was trying to chase him to maybe try and get the kill, but then he realized, like, wait a second, yeah, I just need to remember he does have his ultimate already, so I will be able...
Watch out for the chrono.
Yeah, definitely good of him to watch out for that. Also, something I touched about last series as well from Paul Rist, I like to getting these deep wards, and there is that one control ward there on the blue side that will spot Echo out, which is going to be really good for them. You can also see Malzahar rotating to the bot side, but they are looking to rotate, so I don't think there's going to come much from that. Oh, actually, they cancel the recalls, so Malzahar is level 8. He will be able to have that ultimate down up. There, the grasp will use it. No?
Cheeky walk in. Doesn't quite get there, unfortunately. Just forced to clear the vision. Kindred, on the other hand, just working away at that bleeding grump.
You can definitely see that they realize that this Jinx might become an issue late game.
Oh,
McLean?
There's no flash available. McLean, what are you doing, my dude? Potentially just throwing the lane right there. Doesn't go down just yet. That stab of the flag, but into the dunk. And McLean not watching his minion wave. So he gets held in suppression.
Misplay of McLean there.
Chrono shift. Peanut. Lots of damage. Turning back in for the shield. Gets a little bit of life back. Unfortunately, won't be enough. Last air blade now for the 1v2. Peanut for the chase still. 2 for 1. Forces the flash, but the rocket can be body blocked. Zap.
Abnormal Slime actually had the ultimate up there on the Kindred, so she could have maybe gone in and possibly gotten the kill and then die for it. Option not to do it.
And don't want to force it at this point. It's in a good spot. They just got a free kill on Mazla, so not too bad of interaction. They are, on the other hand, on the back foot, seeing us at 6-4 now. Jinx getting incredibly far ahead. Already on that BF plus pickaxe.
Question is, will McLean look at his wave for once? Because this is the second time he's been caught getting tower shot underneath the tower. McLean maybe
yeah, perhaps considering the lane won already, so not focusing too much on, but rather the rest of the map, seeing how things are going. Rift Herald now on the Rift spawn, so Kindred potentially could look for the solo with a cheeky dash of the wall from behind.
It actually looks like Jarvan is going to rather go for the more damage style fighter build. He does have that Phage and Tiamat ready, so he is not going to do the stone plate type tanky build, obviously, on the Jarvan. Obviously, maybe
go for the black lever.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, if you're gonna go for tank Jarvan, you may as well just pick a different champion. I don't feel like tank Jarvan is the ideal tank for topside. The risk, the waste.
Yeah, maybe he's looking at getting onto the Jinx in the backline with this pick, and that's why they picked this specifically for their comp.
Possibly. Jinx very pickable thanks to that cataclysm. Unless she has flash up, no real way to get out of it.
If they can maybe force the flash away from with maybe the Echo, because Echo can also. Oh wait, sorry. Yeah, Echo's on their team. My bad. That's my mislooking. But
No worries. But
moment.
like I said, Kindred now already has, just like clockwork, making his way into that sneak. Jumps the wall behind the Rift Shell just to secure that with no contest whatsoever. Echo, bottom side of the map, potentially looking for the Cloud Rig, which is not really worthwhile investment or trade. We'll have to see what happens with the Rift Shell. See, is it a volatile objective?
And this is something Peanut has been very good at doing, but pretty much every game, even yesterday. Getting early game objectives is something Peanut really prides himself in by the look.
It's something that comes with Elo, really. I mean, you've got to play the game like clockwork. What is the optimal play to go for? Peanut getting a little bit close. I was about to say, what are you doing, my dude? Cannot walk up to McLean like that. But yeah, so basically playing the game efficiently so that it doesn't slow down for no reason. The flash onto your AD carry, you may have just forced the summoner out. You have abnormal drop in both heal and the flash. Jinx rocket.
That is worthwhile noting. If they can maybe force something onto the Darius here, they can maybe drop the Rift Herald there. Midwave is not really in the position at the moment to drop a Herald. It seems McLean is also just making a run through his jungle, checking if he can see where the Kindred is.
I mean, Rift Herald wasn't taken early enough to get the plates, unfortunately, seeing as it's already 14 minutes and 40 seconds in. Means there'll be no extra gold, but suppression and the QSS or equivalent for the orange is not going to be enough. Peanut finishing him off, unfortunately. A little bit low, forced to drop his own ultimate. She does not die. Flying Pig. Chrono. It just looked like Malzahar does go down as well. 10-5. The snowball continues. GHS is pulling ahead in the early stages for game number 1 at least.
Definitely a Jinx 7-1-2 now with that 500 gold shutdown on her head. It would be pretty great for Kindred if she can maybe get that shutdown gold soonish. But I mean, for now it just seems like Jinx is going to keep on snowballing this game.
7 for 1 only in 15 minutes is pretty large. I mean, looking at that Infinity Edge, plus 2.6k in the pocket next base. That is insanely far ahead at this stage. I don't know, dude. Honestly, I don't really care for the scaling style of of jungler on the side of PRG. I feel like they need to play the least and they need to play that early game and have massive impact and try to snowball through that, then play for that late game scale, bomb-centric playstyle.
Yeah, at the moment they're trying to play through Peanut by the looks of things, obviously putting him on a carry jungle. They feel like if they just get him fed, then he'll probably do most of the work. But it seems like it's just because Grantleigh has a overall team that is more willing to carry overall across the board from every other role. That's going to be a summoner bird from both McLean, Ghost, and the Flash from PRG in the top lane.
Gotta keep in mind that Ghost cooldown is 3 minutes versus the 5 from Flash. It's somewhat of effective worthwhile trade by McLean.
Oh, definitely.
Flying Pig. Last Airblade does end up spotting him out, but McLean a bit of trouble now, overextending. Suppression to lock him down. One of the few targets you can actually drop that ultimate from Last Airblade. I mean, the spooky Gangplank has his oranges to cleanse it. And I assume the modern Goblin will be picking up his QSS.
Yeah, but as I was mentioning, it just feels like Grantleigh across the board are willing to carry from multiple lanes instead of just one, and having all the other lanes just try and, get through laning phase. Where it feels like we've seen in previous Grantleigh games where the ADC has gotten fed before. We've seen Cynic on his mid lane, Karthus, or this Gangplank before do really well. We've seen the Flying Pig do well in this jungle. So it just feels like it's not just always a Peanut game. They're willing to play through other lanes, and that's what makes Grantleigh successful most of the time. Whether they'll be able to do it in a best out of 5, maybe we see some adaptation from PRG, but at this stage, I mean, the game's not over yet, but at the moment, Grantleigh doing very well. Got that tower, has a gold lead with a Drake, so doing fairly well. Worthwhile noting also the Riftfield is going to expire soon. It's going to have to drop it.
He has to drop it. He may just drop it mid lane, which is not going to work out too well. But expired.
Looks like the early
That's-
game jungle from Peanut did not matter too much, and he wasted that time getting Rifted for pretty much nothing.
That's why I said Rift Trail is a volatile objective. Would it be worthwhile? They traded the Air Drake or the Cloud Dragon for it, and they didn't even spawn it. Next Drake of the map going to be spawning in a minute or so. Jinx currently just working at taking that mark off the map. Says Peanut, you don't allowed to claim anymore. Peanut currently sitting on 4 marks, which is not too bad for 18 minutes. Rhino very early. Flying Pig maybe in a bit of trouble. Nicely played.
And the Kindred. That was close, but I don't know if that would have killed her. Jinx has
I think it
IE
would,
down.
dude. Jinx is pretty far ahead, so he has damage. I feel like that may have been able to pick up at least one of them in that case.
But top lane, turret has fallen out as well, so that's all of the tier 1 towers cracked now for the side of Grantleigh. So they have that base, the game cracked open now. They can either maybe look at getting the second Cloud Drake here, and Baron is spawning as well in a minute. So they have the options open. They are trying to get the vision control over here. Peanuts trying to sneak that Cloud.
Yeah, it's 3-0. Same Cloud of the map. Do you think it's going to be a triple Cloud? Super cloudy today it seems in Johannesburg.
Hate to see it. We only want Earth and Fire Drakes in this game.
I mean, guys, just like to see the world burn.
100%. But I mean,
What is the weather like in Johannesburg today?
I don't know.
Other than dry.
I mean, we're both from Durban and Cape Town, so I can't answer you that one for you. I mean, I can Google it if you really want.
Anybody in chat that's at the event? I was gonna have to check because I don't really have chat open. But how's the weather in Johannesburg today, guys?
Apparently, it's very hot, 29 degrees.
Only. Hopefully, fingers crossed, aircon's on. I've got my fan running 24/7 here, even though it's not even that hot.
Aircon for me, but a lot of pings coming through here from PRG. It looks like they want to take control here of the red side jungle, maybe get some vision on Baron, as it is fairly dark there for them. Jarvan is going to use his flag for vision. Have to watch out.
Baron is up, but I don't think either of these teams should be making a play for the Baron just yet. Get some sort of fight lead first.
Actually, it wouldn't be too bad here from PRG to maybe try and force a fight there. Jinx is in the bot lane.
They have a GP Darius though, so you'll be a little bit careful to make sure that you do pick the fights that you can guarantee the victory on. But like you said, the majority of the gold on blue side currently bottom with no real way of crossing the map outside of the Jinx ulti.
Just need to be careful of being caught out like this.
Speaking of which, and a little bit of trouble. Opts to just drop the ulti for the disengage. Gangplank. Reposition. Looking like a good fight so far. Peanut soaking the Jinx damage. Right with the hub, but here comes that Goblin from afar. Looking to clean up as PRG goes for the CC, but the triple kill into the potential quadrant flash there, plus the Jinx passive modern Goblin for the reset. And
imagine being late for a fight, showing up and throwing a few rockets in your face and getting a quadra kill. Absolutely insane. We just mentioned that she was on bot lane. She casually just strolls over to mid lane and gets a quadra. No worries.
PRG was looking pretty strong in that fight until they weren't, and GHS modern Goblin had other ideas right from afar.
That was pretty unfortunate. It seems like PLG had a really good pick there, but unfortunately not recognizing the fact that Jinx could maybe show up and ruin the party.
This game looking very done if they don't do things. I mean, something about this Jinx is currently has a 700 gold bounty on her head, so you're gonna need to be able to focus her. You can't see Jinx don't take the fight.
Oh yes, I think it's pretty much if they don't kill the Jinx straight off in the beginning of the fight, even letting her put a few basic attacks, splash damage attacks with that rockets, it's pretty much a done fight. You can see instantly a lot of the team members in that fight were still more than half health, and she just critted them all to death apparently.
The issue is though she has a QSS and Muzzle can't even lock it down, but they have no real assassin. Had they had a Kayn, sure, able to potentially just one-shot the Jinx, but in this case they're putting the jungler on Kindred, which doesn't exactly deal with overly fed AD carries particularly well.
Yeah, she only has that Phantom Dancer and the Warrior jungling item done at this stage, so there's not a ton of damage. The Phage's not going to provide much extra, so there's
No
definitely not.
Triforce, no
Yeah,
tons of damage.
yeah, there's definitely a nice freak reference there, by the way. But the Jarvan, I think, is the closest here to actually maybe doing something about the Jinx because the Kai'Sa only has one item done. So let's face it, there's not much you can do. You touched on the fact that she has the QSS ready. So Malzahar also not particularly very fed, even if the QSS is expended. So the only real person that can maybe try and deal with the Jinx here is Jarvan, is lock her down if she doesn't have flash, get her into that cataclysm, let your help your teammates get her down. That's the only way they can deal with that at this stage, I think.
Yeah, I mean, I don't particularly feel like Jarvan is far ahead enough to actually be able to just one-shot Modern Goblin, even the EQ Ultimate Cataclysm combo. So there would definitely need to be some form of follow-up onto that. And, I mean, that's probably the best bet at this point, using that Cataclysm to lock her in place. But even then, not having the damage, this is not what you want. If Modern Goblin walks in, stopwatch for a bit of time. They wanted to pick on a Jinx, not Echo.
Yeah, but I mean, Echo would still be a good pick, but either way, the not the stopwatch, the Zonia's Hourglass is going to keep them alive. They're not even burning the ultimate. So
yeah, that's the thing though, if they commit onto the Echo, then Jinx just cleans up. That's why you have to pick the Jinx first, then go for the Echo.
We're clean. Okay, will not catch up to normal slime.
And with the Ghost, that was pretty bizarre.
Well, you know, Kai'Sa, cool champion.
Fun for the whole family. EOP.
Looks like we're not going to have the cloudy Johannesburg at the moment because we do have a ocean drake actually spawning.
A little bit more water.
How much money does Jinx have in the pocket? She's got overall 12,000 gold in the pocket at the moment, with the closest person in the enemy team being Peanut with 9. So there's almost there's like an item difference there completely. That's pretty big. 44,000 overall to the 38,000 on PRG. So I mean, PRG.
I mean, look at Jinx, dude. 12k in the pocket versus the second highest in the game, which is, if I'm not mistaken, Malzahar with 8.5. No, Kindred with 10.
Yeah. So I mean, like, even at this stage, there's no towers here taken for PRG. They can't even manage to take a tier 1. The closest is the top lane there with like 3/4 health taken away. Other than that, I mean, they are pushing the top lane, so there's not much they can do. Pretty much completely starved of gold at this stage, basically.
So the Baron potentially next objective for blue side, but once again objective that normally is the throwing point for a team that is winning. Peanut. Flying pick. Ward can just be able to spot him out first. Need to be careful top side. I can foresee a Jarvan Cataclysm combo top side with a misplayed team fight from blue. But you need to be careful in this position as they're sort of dancing with fire a little bit. Jarvan should be looking for some sort of window to potentially punish or catch out Modern Goblin. But so far so good. Retreating off back to potentially the Baron.
For someone that doesn't seem, unless he has a Smurf that we don't know about, but for someone that seems like he's not an ADC main, he's playing it fairly well. He's really kiting nicely, you know, staying at the back of the fights. He's not unnecessarily stepping up. He's been very solid at just, you know, keeping himself safe.
You might use Jinx just insanely long range with those rockets. So keeping yourself at an arm's length is a Jinx's expertise.
Also, both teams doesn't seem like they want to throw at this stage. Just trying to get as much vision as they can on the red side, trying to make, because I'm pretty sure if this Baron is taken, I think it's pretty over for PRG. Any foot they still had in the door would be gone. That being said, the gold lead has closed down quite a bit. I mean, only a 6,000 gold lead now. They were almost reaching 10 earlier, so they are scraping a little bit of gold back by clearing all these waves that are crashing into them.
Bot side, Kai'Sa left to catch wave as Darius looks to try push in. Has no teleport, keep that in mind. I would have rather have had Darius middle and gangplank bottom with the TP potentially to rotate to the Baron. Jarvan as well, bot to answer. Clean. So we got Gangplank spiking but Infinity Edge plus the Triforce in inventory, so should be able to hit pretty hard. Peanut though jumps the wall in a little bit of trouble. Has flash available. Oh, flying pig, Peanut. Yeah, that looks like it's most likely going to be the Baron. Leona doing the best she can to try to keep him alive. Unfortunately, Peanut the first one down. McLean on the bottom side though. Abnormal. McLean taking that win. Modern Goblin.
And that's going to be a Baron, and most likely after that they're going to just usher the waves into the base. They slowly but surely just take the game. Yeah, I don't see PRG coming back from this.
It definitely seems like GHS are it's a win at this stage, and him with a really exposed middle means that Baron should allow for at least one in him. McLean. Replay of the top side.
I'm not sure if McLean was trolling, but I don't know what that flash was.
I feel like McLean getting a little bit excited about the first game win. Goblin. Death Killer Zenith Blade connection does drop the okay. Death Killer a little bit too eager, wanted to get the pick, not the target that you can go on there, unfortunately. Still sitting on the flash, Gangplank able to quite easily survive.
Looks like Grantleigh just yet doesn't want to give up a game on by throwing unnecessary fights, so they will rather back out of that fight there. Maybe back on, get to the Dragon Pit, which will be an Infernal Drake actually.
Ah, good decision. Infernal, McLean though.
Stole the dragon.
Will it massively? He's like this team fight. McLean the front line able to just delete the first one. That's 3 members now down. And Peanut a little bit late on that ulti to have any assistance from the team, but that most likely will be the game right off that play as the ace has come through. Dude, that's just one of the risks that's involved with going for an objective such as Drake versus a team that has Baron. If you lose the fight, they could potentially just finish the game off that push.
Yeah, and I mean, if this game were to go on, it would be a second Infernal as well, but that doesn't seem like it is going to matter because all 5 members of Grantleigh is up and they are going to push through for these Nexus Towers, and this will most likely be game 1 of the 5 series between Grantleigh and Paul Roos Gymnasium. And well done to GHS on this victory. I mean, overall playing very well. I mean, other than McLean having some trolls tendencies in the top lane every now and then, maybe taking some free tower shots. I mean, I think all of them played actually fairly well.
Yeah, I should have played for the turtle instead of going for the Drake greed. So I try and wait out the Baron, but it is what it is. It happens. First game done and dusted of the best of 5. Did that go according to how you thought it would?
Well, my prediction was I would say Grantleigh was going to take it, but especially due to the fact that they've got basically a lot of the comfort picks that were allowed today already. So it was pretty much just PRG allowing them, because obviously the Echo especially, I think, has shown to be very good on that champion, and it was not taken away from it, and they first picked it. Maybe relying on the fact that they wanted to get the Echo pick for themselves, also due to the fact we saw Last Airblade actually playing that Echo as well. So, I mean, yeah, you can check on the damage shot even that overall Peanut didn't do very badly. It was only 1,000 damage off of the Jinx. That was way more fed than him. So actually really well played to Peanut as well. But I definitely think
keep in mind that he was the jungler as well, so he wasn't particularly hitting players for the majority of the game.
Yeah, so that's actually quite a bit of damage. Other than that, I think they need to definitely try and mix things up bot. Maybe try and go for maybe like a safer lane, maybe get some...
Yeah, play to go even and try not to bleed out, let the rest of the team potentially carry it.
Yeah, definitely for maybe like a scaling ADC, even if you go something like a Sivir, you know, just scale and use utility what you have, even an Ashe, just trying to pick up a utility ADC basically.
But nonetheless, guys, we'll see you shortly for game number 2 of the best of 5. Look for that trade, but the shotgun is going to be doing too much work. The Winnies, though, trying to finish off that last little damage. Still the health plus a red buff, keeping him alive.
And it seems like they would just have a last bit of breath in this game Will West will be able to do anything with this now? Is this going to be that last with Sona missing her ult and then first trying to go in for the second engage without ult, but then Devi ulting the wrong person? So a lot of misplays here from Mpangeni High School.
You're gonna misplace first beautiful flash. Just gonna be able to finish off Lucian with that early investment, giving him a little bit of time to sort of just watch. I'd like to see him play a little bit safer until the jungler gank, or potentially when he gets that try force. But very, very cheeky play coming through. Deadly Virus force to drop this stopwatch. Then played Leona here for the counter, but Deadly Virus will go down as the Ash arrow connects onto the NASA style. Maybe the box now. Peanut does engage, but Deadly able to finish up the first one. Will Slap go down? He does actually. Great. Double kill, looking for the triple. Airblade. Peanut. Charm. Deadly Virus the triple into that last Bunny Pilot picking the kill onto the support. The first one now down, and Bunny Pilot quite easily picking up that kill.
Maybe they have too many tanks on the team and they're struggling to actually deal damage here, and the main damage dealer was killed very early.
Oh, Blitz missing his first hook, but the DPS not gonna be there either.
The jungle and mid laner. Mid laner maybe could still maybe work with a different comp.
Oh, Galio, Hero's entrance. The knockup's gonna be into the taunt. That's a big knock. Or lockdown, while the Caitlyn in a very good position to just fire off auto attack. She's hitting crits, plus the stream's doing some work. But I don't know if she's gonna be able to clean it
around. Gonna try and maybe get the Carly still.
Big Rift Child is gonna be abused in the bottom. Nice little cheeky stop. I don't think he needed to go over. He will pay the price. He does end up going down. Unfortunately, the Ash Arrow not able to keep him alive. You cannot kite through the turrets. What are you doing, friend? Dies for it, but the siege continues bot side. This one off with Inhumane biting off a little bit too much. Tip has been brought in. Curtain call. Last Airblade, Virus, super low, but Airblade does go down as just before Deadly does. That's going to be 3 of his dead. Thresh as well. Yasuo, Flash, auto attack, passive from Nautilus. We'll be able to lock down Abnormal. Inhumane kill with the Flash in as well. Bunny Pilot picking up that one, so innovate early game, getting them quite big advantage. Peanut sort of hovering around, doesn't have Flash or ulti available, but does have the Smite. I don't know about that attempt on the Ashe, I'll be honest. I don't see that one ending out well.
I think if you want to
under turret.
Oh, gotta look for the fight actually.
The Malphite instead of the Tristan is an interesting decision. I feel like there's a lot more gold sitting on the Tristana's head, and perhaps a misclick as they were very close to each other. But a cheeky rotation will overstay from the side of red.
I mean, shutdown is a shutdown, and that's gonna be some good gold over to the Mr. Dead.
Yeah, just want to fight.
Speaking of, there is Vision though. He's standing on a ward. Mordekaiser
looks for the yoink. Bunny Pilot says, "No, friend, I've got my net ready." Trap place. That's a lot of damage, plus the beautiful extra 100 range applied. So Blitzcrank getting that pick, just the tip.
And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to this good afternoon with the PRG on the left side and Grantleigh on the right. And it's been a very interesting game one. Grantleigh taking it fairly convincingly with a really, really good bot lane Jinx matchup there, and I'm very excited to see what's going to come game 2. We already see Echo is going to be banned away. It's not going to be allowed through in this game again. So our question is, are they going to allow the Jinx again? I mean, they have first pick this time, so maybe they can first pick Jinx for themselves if they don't want to give it over again, or they feel maybe they can deal with it.
I feel like Jinx is really the issue. I'm not saying it's an issue as well. I'm just I don't feel like Jinx will be the only champion that could work in that situation. I feel like any other AD carry, it's more of the mismatch in Elo in the bot lane potentially.
That definitely could be the factor, yeah. And I mean, they did pick up the Leona, so that will be the same support again. Feel like the Leona is probably a good pick for them, so I'm not going to change up anything there.
Yeah, just a comfort pick.
Yeah, and the Nautilus is going to be banned away though, so that's not going to be let through. That was picked for the Jinx last game, and actually we're going to have the Twitch this game.
Will it be Twitch jungle or Twitch AD carry?
I see something interesting happening here, maybe, but I'm not going to give it away just yet.
Please no Twitch stop.
It's very early in the game, but give it a chance. Give it a chance. I think I might see something here. There's the Blitzcrank. We know that Blitzcrank has been buffed with that extra range. Really decent support at the moment, especially if you do like the hook champions.
Kinda hope it's the Twitch jungle though. Reason being is I don't think Twitch Blitzcrank is really a lane. Not too, like, pair up together, complete opposites really. Plus, picking Blitzcrank to Leona is kind of a dangerous game. Yarg liking to the top side for the side of PRG. So Yarg a very good top winner. I like that pick opposed to the Jarvan. See if he can do some work. Was Yarg bad in the previous rotation? Or the previous match or that?
Yeah, this is pretty good. I think the Yorick is a good pick. I think we saw them play Yorick yesterday. Worked out pretty well for them. Also, I think in place of a top lane Jarvan, the Yorick can definitely work much better. He's definitely a better side laner. He can split push better. He has very good trading. So I think this is already a much better change to the comp. Peanut on Diana though, I think this is very good because the biggest problem with last game was Modern Goblin on ADC. Diana can be really good at dealing with ADCs if she can get ahead just enough to one-shot them. So I think already PRG is making really good adjustments to their lineup.
Yeah, I agree. Like you said, I mean, we mentioned last game that the assassin was missing. They need someone to take out the overly fed player, and Kindred's not going to do that, unfortunately. So they switched to Diana. Let's see whether he can make it work or not, though. Second ban phase.
By the way, so it will not be a Twitch jungle, so that makes my suspicions a little bit closer. You see, you might think Twitch ADC, and yes, you are probably right, but the surprise is still coming.
Twitch mid?
No, it's probably Twitch ADC, but there's still a surprise coming. It's who's going to play the Twitch, and I think I know who it is.
Okay, so the lane swap that you were mentioning earlier sort of coming through. You we're hinting a lot that the McLean side was kind of looking to do some hot swapping. So we were yet to see that, perhaps putting it out this game.
Just remember that I've also mentioned that Modern Goblin is not actually an ADC main. So this is where the swap is going to come into play. So we might see Modern Goblin not actually play ADC this game.
Okay, why would you take like a player who's just popped off of the role that he popped off on?
Because it's not technically his main, and the person who is going to play that role mains the champion that they are going to play there. So it's sort of like putting Kiddo either mid or ADC. It's a role / champion that they are comfortable in either place, or putting Vanzo on Mundo top. It's all the same concept. It's champions that they feel very comfortable on that they play in the role.
Fair enough. LeBlanc gonna be Harvard. So LeBlanc potentially could one-shot that Karthus or the Twitch this game.
By the way, the Civ pick, it is something that I don't know if they were listening to the cast. So I don't know if I inspired that, but remember at the end of last game, I said maybe this is just go for like a utility ADC that can scale really well. This is what they did.
So,
they did take the Civ.
Are you saying if they lose, it's your fault then?
Well, I'm willing to take that because I think it is a really good pick. If they lose, might have been my fault, but I think at the moment Civ is a fairly decent ADC, and we've seen them do really like struggle a lot in this bot lane. So I'm not going to say that it is a bad pick. I think it's good, and it's going to work well with the Leona, with the engage potential, all-inning with a Diana and a Leona. There's a lot of engage and catch potential on that team.
Yeah, I mean, so the comp's now rounded out. I honestly don't really care for the GHS comp. I don't like the Twitch plus Blitzcrank bot lane. The reason being is that I feel like Blitz wants to fight, but Twitch wants to scale. So what's the point of putting a support in the game that's intended to cause fights with any character who wants to try and avoid them? Secondarily, they've got KL plus cards, which is a lot of AP plus scaling. I feel like they're just too late game versus a comp that potentially could roll them in the earlies with the Diana, but yet again they have scale themselves. We've got the Silver plus the Yorick, so I feel like had PRG drafted for the early game, and potentially could have snowballed this one out into a quick victory.
So there it is, by the way. Comps has been locked in, and my suspicions has been confirmed. It will be McLean on Twitch in the bot lane.
I was hiding.
Exactly. So it will be actually Modern Goblin, which is the Plat 2 player on the Kale top lane. Interesting enough, it's not something that's showing on his match history that he plays a lot. He did practice it recently, but I mean, like in solo queue, it's not something he played very often. So that's maybe something a bit of a question mark. He did practice it recently, but that's sort of like, I'm not sure how really proficient he is at it, but if he can carry the game like he did last game, if he's really good at it, I mean, I'm not going to complain. But otherwise, Twitch is something McLean plays, and that he has said before that he's comfortable on. So I'm really keen to see how this is going to play out for Grantleigh. Other than that, I definitely think if we're just going to talk about comp, I do agree with you. I do think PRG's comp is better due to the fact that they have tools now to deal with the issues that they had the last game. They have Sivir, obviously. That's something I already touched upon. So that can safely just stay in the bot lane. It can scale up. It has a lot of utility, even if he doesn't get to farm up a lot, which will probably happen. But other than that, they have the Yorick now, which is much better in my opinion than the Jarvan, and they have the one shot slash pick potential of the LeBlanc and Diana. Even if Modern Goblin or McLean gets fed, they have tools now to deal with it. So I think overall, I agree with you. PRG's comp is definitely a bit better.
I mean, McLean needs to be that McLean on Twitch, I guess. He needs to be bringing his A game, because I feel like into a comp like this, he's gonna have a lot of issues. As soon as he pops up Leona in his face, Diana gonna one-shot him. Sivir potentially popping the speed as well as the Blanc. There's a lot of tools to potentially just delete him out of the game. So honestly, I'm gonna be pretty impressed if McLean can make the Twitch work this game.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you. I mean, it's all a good idea, but it feels like PRG sort of they're drafting to deal with stuff now. They're not just drafting necessarily comfort picks, or not that they necessarily were having comfort picks. I'm not actually sure what PRG was drafting for the previous game. It just felt like the last game. I definitely feel like the Grantleigh draft was better, but now in this case, definitely swapped around.
Yeah, and what I said before was that it's gonna come down to the draft for this best of 5. I feel like either team could take the big win, but it's gonna come down to the day and which way the wind blows, I suppose. So overall win for this game.
I think this might actually, if it goes as we think, because I think we both reckon that PRG's comp is better, yeah, then we might have a 1-1 game here on our hands, and it's going to be interesting to see how they're going to deal with this in the Champ Select of Game 3, because now there's a lot of other factors, and we saw this in the Royalty game in July. Once you start swapping around players, let's say they lose, Grantleigh loses this game, but McLean still popped off on Twitch. So now you have this factor. Okay, we won, but we still need to consider that McLean played fairly well on Twitch. So do we start banning it out now? Do we just keep on banning top laners, or focus on maybe Modern Goblins? Like, there's a lot of things to consider once it goes to a game 3, and you then have to adjust your picks and bans again. Sort of maybe just keep everything the same since you did win. So maybe just let the enemy team adjust, you know?
Yeah, if it works, why change it? But I'm pretty sure they're gonna go for a cheeky invade with Blitzcrank. I mean, what kind of comp does not invade with a Blitzcrank?
Welcome to Summoner's Rift.
We have LeBlanc and Yorick very close to that Blitzcrank. I think Blitzcrank is in hook range. If he for some reason would hook there now, I would be very skeptical about if someone's watching the stream.
Map hacks.
I haven't even played Blitzcrank since he's been buffed. Is that range? Okay, cool. Good try though.
Minions have spawned.
They were one, to be fair. Pretty standard, no invader seems just going for a cheeky over the wall hook. Blitzcrank.
What's your time sheet?
She's got the 1:23, 24.
I'm gonna pause on 1:30.
Oh, 6, 7, 8, 9, go. Oh, my replay paused actually.
Where are you?
I'm at 1:30, the replay's stuck.
Okay, I'm gonna pause.
Right, video games.
I'm gonna pause on 1:40 again.
Paused this off at 1:30, now it's stuck. Bully buff just spawning, looks very odd. Oh, there we go, 1:31.
I'm on 1:40 now, remember I played,
Three.
so I'm waiting for you.
9. Go. This is super keen to get into the game, that's why he's trying to get ahead of us.
Yep.
Alright, so Kale was buffed 2 or 3 patches back. They made her slightly more early game because she was just way too weak in the early stages. And not very fun to play. Right kill, looking pretty cool. Oh.
The one thing that I don't like about the Cal change, yes, she feels a bit more better to play in the early game. But I used to like having that explosive late game that she had because she doesn't do the cleave true damage anymore. So that's once you get to like her 16 to 18 levels and you get like a lot of items, it's basically a ticking time bomb. I like that part about Kale getting hooked.
Oh, let's crack. Zenith Blade not gonna connect, so this is kind of the match. Oh, hold that thought. Ignite, applying McLean a little bit too close. You cannot afford to take these fights in the early stages. Replay freezing apparently. Not really sure what's going on here. Oh jeez guys. McLean, ignite the tick attack, the DPS, the first blood going to Leona, flashing out. Sinister sync.
2 minutes,
38,
47,
49,
48.
40, what was it, 50?
Paused.
7, 8, 9, go. Alright, so just going on to this bot lane matchup. Both AD carries going for a bit of a scaling matchup, but I do still think Sivir is stronger than Twitch in these early brawls just because of that cleaver damage. On the other hand, if Blitzcrank does manage to hook Leona, it's pretty much a free engage, a little bit of an extra Zenith range with Death Killer, which is kind of what we saw there. He did end up missing the Zenith and working out anyway. Ignite doing a lot of work, so that's why I was saying I don't understand the Blitzcrank pick into this, especially seeing as I think Leona was the blind pick. And it's not like you can hook a Sivir as a Blitzcrank in this bottom lane, so don't really understand the draft thought process behind that.
It just seems like pretty much everyone in this tournament plays the same supports. I don't see any utility supports coming through that can just play safe and keep the ADCs alive. And we've not seen any Morganas because, I mean, if everyone in the tournament plays like Leona, Blitzcrank, Nautilus, you know, all of these engage supports, then just you can pick a Morgana and just counter that. So I don't know. It feels like everyone has the same trampoline support-wise in the tournament.
Yeah.
Also spoke
Almost
about
in
also spoke about I think yesterday the fact that when they pick Karthus, I mean the Karma is up. That could be a very good help against them.
Flying peg, PG, and a little bit of trouble, a lot of damage. The DPS, the tick ain't gonna be enough as a giant piece of the kill. But Peanut now needs to get flying pig, otherwise this is not gonna be looking too hard. He does actually the DPS for the red buff enough, so nicely done.
And that's going to be pretty good, getting that kill onto the Diana. That's what they need to be sure to be able to deal with anyone in that might be potentially getting fed on the side of Grantleigh. Like we talked about, the Twitch and the Kale. You need that one-shot potential.
Well, the fight continues to tap a little bit of a wet noodle. Baby cage being destroyed, Modern Goblin. Sort of play towards that maiden. Vernal going to be the first Drake of the map.
Well, finally, no more clouds at least. So trend continuing from last game. We were going to have a interesting. We actually, when the game ended, we were going to have. We actually have that, also, right? Sneakily, just throwing in the last Drake that we would have had anyways. Awesome. Interesting.
Oh, fire pick. Death Killer. Dover getting the knockup, still has the hook, gotta keep that in mind. Zenith Blade to the backline looking for the re-engage, will go down, Flying Pig picking up that one, but here comes the Peanut Diana. Dover in a little bit of trouble. That damage plus the red buff applying means he will be slightly slower, and that should be enough for Abnormal Slam to pick up that kill, so neutralizing that. 3-2 now actually, and game still fairly even.
And it seems like this bot lane isn't working out too well for him. Looks like so far at least the whole swapping Modern Goblin into the top lane isn't working out too well for them. I mean, even if you look at CS, Abnormal Slime actually ahead of McLean in the CS department, where all the other games, even yesterday when we saw Modern Goblin on ADC, has been ahead in CS consistently actually. Level 6 now is finally getting that range on the Kale.
Top side, police sirens going off. Speaking of which, did you manage to see the new Joker movie yet?
No, not myself. What kind of
Got any
anime is the
plans?
Joker movie, by the way?
XD. Pretty sure that's the same genre as Corey in the House.
That's a good one. But yeah, Wave is going to push in here. I wonder if Diana is on red side now, but I wonder if she's going to make her way back to this top lane now, because we do know that Modern Goblin is one of the carry factors for this game, and they have picked the Kale. So you can definitely see by that they still have the idea that Modern Goblin is still meant to be the carry for this game. Carthur's not going to do too much up until he gets some items. So they're not worrying too much about mid at this stage, since LeBlanc can most probably deal with him fine for a while, even up until he gets items. So probably most of the focus is going to be on this bot lane for now.
I haven't actually seen any aggression coming out through mid from Last Airblade. I feel like he should be able to dictate that lane at least into the Carthus early game. And if he doesn't manage to keep him down in this stage, he's sort of just going to get to scale for free.
Yeah, that's definitely something they need to maybe look at. Pina trying for the lane gank.
Yep, no attempt allowed. Ward removed.
Been really good from him actually picking up that scanner early. If you know you're going to do a lane gank, it is pretty advantageous to pick up that scanner. It will just make you not stand on a ward for 5 minutes of your life.
No, a lot of the time you don't have to clear the ward, just walk in with the sweeper going, and half the time they don't even notice the fact that it's disabled. They'll literally just walk right over it and go for the gank attempt. But topside Maiden applying the slow, but PRG a little bit low. No flash to go.
Have to be careful. I mean, Kale can maybe look at killing him,
Goblin,
yeah?
what are you doing? You don't have mana.
What?
Dies to the Maiden. I think he banked on the ulti cooldown, but didn't realize he was completely in. Salted battery, the hook not gonna work out, unfortunately. And that Requiem just short of enough damage, so good attempt, but no cigar.
Early game Requiem with no items does not do that much damage. You really need to make sure that they are on basically execute damage, just so you can take the last hit almost. There's not much you can do about that, but that's going to be a Kale now trying to flank.
Attempt number 2.
Maiden.
Fighting in the Maiden. Probably enough there.
This time.
Hang on, Peanut on the other hand, finishing off what his friend could not. Flash burn for it though.
And I mean, I still feel like that's very worth it, because now Kale is also going to lose some farm to that turret. Peanut picks up a kill, which is going to be great for him. And I mean, Yorick didn't lose out on much. He's still ahead on CS. So overall, I think definitely still worth for Yorick. Oh, and the assist, of course.
Combo deal.
TP was also used, by the way, to flank the Yorick. So that's TP also down for the kill. Going to have to walk back to lane. So overall, a pretty big loss there for the top lane.
Peanut. Making a little bit of trouble. The Baron gonna be pop plus the flash, but this is not gonna be enough. The beautiful game coming through from Peanuts. Blind Pig on the other hand, looking for the counter, does not have a salted battery available, will not require it. The shutdown commencing.
This is what we also talked about, the LeBlanc against this Carthus. They need to ensure that he doesn't get a free scale there and fortunately take them out. But he's going to try and fight something. Not going to be enough.
Big wave, needs to be careful. The flash key going to be enough though. Vi just showing us why he's so comfortable on that demon Vi. Upside. Modern. Oh, how many games does Flying have on his Vi? Seems very, very comfortable.
Having a quick look. Vi, it doesn't seem like he has a few games, but not actually very big high win rate. So I don't know if it was maybe a previous season. I mean, he is a jungle main, so just probably overall comfortable. I don't know.
Maybe he's still show us why his win rate or KDA is not that high. But so far so good, 4 for 1. Opting to go for the match resist items.
That being said, though, he has played Vi quite a bit recently, so that there's that.
Was he the Vi that we saw playing him previously in the tournament? I remember a
probably.
Vi with Aftershock at one point.
But it feels like if you literally just open some of these players, OP.GG's, the stuff they've been playing recently, not necessarily talking about the amount of games they've been playing on certain champions. If you just look at the match history, you can see Modern Goblin has been playing, not on solo queue, but he has been playing Kale, and Flying Pig has been playing Vi. It's all there. They're not playing it on Smurfs or anything. It's not public secret. They know what they're going to be picking in these draft phases, apparently.
Okay. Perhaps the next game will have the Vi ban. Generally, that's how it works. The recently played characters tend to get taken away if they have a big enough map impact.
And I mean, that's always the thing with these best out of fives. As the series continues, it gets harder and harder to decide what you're going to pick and ban. Do you let through some picks that was a problem previously in the series, or do you try and deal with it? Do you counter pick it? What do you actually do when you get to the last game?
You win. That's what you do.
That's where the genius Jan drafts come into play.
Headsets off, boys. A little bit of trouble, not going to get past the Requiem. Diana, on the other hand, here for the counter, the block, the rotation into. First one not down will be Sivir. The team picking that one up with a shutdown.
PRG also, yeah. A teleporter.
They have the top side teleport, yeah.
Yeah.
And TP advantage not gone, but at least should be the Drake in theory will turret. The siege continues. I honestly think the turret would have been worth all.
That is still a lot of place there. Once it gets to the last plate, it might take a while, but plating is actually going to fall soon. So maybe double back to that tower. I don't know. Gonna lose a lot of money though. Actually, in the meanwhile, Kale is going to pick up a free farm and plates for herself in the top lane due to that TP being used.
LeBlanc finding herself a pink one. That's going to be the second Drake, and also give the side of Bully. On top side of plate gold. The Dynasty as we pass that 14-minute mark, so no one got opportunity to pick up that. So Rift Channel still on the map, but not going to be nearly as useful.
Diana is actually around and Vi. We might see a 2v2 fight breaking out here.
Jungle v jungle, top v top. A lot of damage to that bot tier 1 turret. None yet to be taken. Rift's Herald Hover coming through. Vi sort of not too sure if she can go for the objective. Potentially dive the overextending top laner.
That is just well mentioning, even though that little misplay came through in the beginning. Ooh, PRG.
Maybe.
Oh, seems like it's going to be another death. Carthus in trouble.
Side. Barrier. Oh. No Requiem allowed just yet. Another 15 seconds or so left in that cooldown.
Diana might actually be looking. Okay, I thought it was looking like he was.
Does that flash? Oh, Flying Pig. That's a cheeky place. The recall will go down. The smite's in advance to make sure he doesn't finish with the recall.
Meanwhile, while Diana's trying to go and get the Carthus, they play with the mid laner's life actually.
Right.
I don't think you can one-shot that.
Up. Peanut. Flash, but it does not look like it's too good. Requiem as well, plus Rat-a-tat McLean. Such a good T-fight win for the side of GHS. They're just all where they need to be, it seems. Last taunt.
That's a triple kill for the Twitch now, and we've had our doubts about whether McLean will be able to do it, but I mean, that's giving in so much gold over to a Twitch. If he's going to be left unattended later on, he's probably going to back with quite a bit of gold now, 1,500 in the bank, after he just finished this Infinity Edge. So that's going to be really good for PRG here.
That may just be the second turret, or the traded turret top tier 1 has already fallen, so that's going to be the turret number 2 for side GHS. So they slightly start to pull away in gold. 4k ahead now, only 16 minutes in.
well. So the
Keep in mind that red side scale is definitely in their favor. They've got a scale almost in every lane. Carthus, Kale, and Twitch.
and we spoke about the tools that PRG has to sort of shut down these scales and to keep them down, but the problem they're having at the moment is it feels like Vi is almost keeping the Diana down, and that's very important for them because Diana needs to get onto the Twitch and the Kale. Kale having that ultimate as well, definitely a problem. Speaking of Kale,
Yeah, speaking of getting on to people.
yeah, the Carthus is gonna get.
dead.
The one thing I
Peanut.
don't like about picking on the Carthus the whole time, I don't think Carthus minds this too much. He's still doing very good in terms of farm in this mid lane, and he has that scaling item now for the arcane little stuff later on. And I mean, we saw this last game as well. Last airbender getting killed.
Airblade kinda like plays too much towards the side of the map without vision. You just had Diana game from below. You've got the pink wall there, so hug bottom side of the map. Vi can't hit you from that direction, but it's the second time now where he's sort of like played towards top side and just been caught off for it and punished.
Now, Flying Pig doing a lot of work in this game with the Vi, even last game with the Echo. So, really honorable mention to him for sort of one of the underdogs, putting a lot of emphasis
pressure.
on modern Goblin here, but actually being the shining star at the moment.
You're not looking for the blue steal. He does get it, trying to take out Flying Pig though, but I don't know if this is the 1v1 he wants to take. Fly does not have the ulti, but McLean is here for the backup. Peanut, wall, sidestep. Nice Leona lockdown, so able to finish him with McLean attacking, realizing he's going to be going down to the red come either way, so the commit. Double kill with the shutdown nonetheless going, so 80 carry for 80 carry. And this is a little bit hard to watch, Death. Oh, LeBlanc. Let's crack now down, which is the real one. Oh, barrier gonna be able to negate majority of it. That is actually quite nicely played by Sonic.
Yeah, and that also, meanwhile, that happened in the bot lane. Actually, 1v1 Kale in the top lane onto the Yorick, gonna get a kill for himself there as well. And they're just going really badly for PRG at the moment. I mean, it was looking good in the early game, but those scaling top laners and bot laners are getting to that point. And I mean, Vi is again doing a really good job of just keeping the Diana down. So it's PRG is going to have to decide how. I mean, even Leona did her part that fight and locking down the Twitch, but it just wasn't enough.
Yeah, GHS looking very, very solid at this point. Only uphill from here as the skill continues. It was slowly tilting towards their favor.
I mean, it's still, the goal is still not that bad. I mean, PRG can still make a comeback here if they lock down the right people and kill them instantly. This stage.
Watch the kill. The clean, the rotation as well. 3-man lockdown. Boss of the map as well. Red team do manage to pick up the Mountain Drake, but Vi does go down as a result. So that's a little bit of cash back in the pocket. 12 to 19.
Actually, the trade kill onto the Sliver, so they are not going to walk away with it scot-free.
Clean. Last airblade. Death killer. A lot of damage. Oh, that's cheeky. So, Prowler.
That's what I've been talking about the Carthus. You've seen it last game as well. Carthus was having a difficult early game with those deaths being like more than his kills, and this stage it again doesn't matter. Kale might take this inhibitor tower.
Does not care that there's a Leona on him. Zenith Blade, Leona, my dude, you're not going to be able to kill the kill without assistance. Here comes Peanut though, the flash Zenith Blade going to be enough to lock him down in place. No time even for the self ultimate.
That was maybe a bit greedy, trying to take the tower, gets nothing for it, and gives a shutdown gold over, which is going to be pretty big for Peanut here.
Over. Over Jin, just sort of playing around the Drake. That's gonna be hold on for a while, I guess. Maybe not. Baron on the map now, right? So abnormal. Trying to secure the Skull Crab before anybody else rotates up, but may have just paid the price as he does greed for the pink ward. Hook gonna be negated thanks to the flash. But Requiem on the other hand, who's oh, there it is.
Abnormal slime, very low, gonna die.
Flying Pig picking up that one. Peanut there with the return damage. The ignite can be invested. Unfortunately, does miss the hook. But Flying Pig now finding himself between Peanut and Last Airblade does go down as a result. That cheeky overgreed. Prowler.
And I mean, that was a bit too deep of the Vi. And I mean, yes, you feel like you need to keep your attention onto the Diana, but it's going to cost your life. And now, speaking of that, Carter's going to play with his life.
But you gotta be careful for that Death's Phantom status, I guess. I don't even know what the proper term for it is called. But the abilities from the dead, basically Carthus able to still use his regular abilities once he has died for a couple of seconds. Nets himself a couple of kills. That's the Blitzcrank skin you were talking about yesterday, right? Your favorite one.
Yes, this is indeed my favorite skin.
Built over customs.
Yep, when he presses that W, he throws the horn.
A little bit of extra speed. McLean trying to walk away from that one. He's a sneaky rat. But he's able to fade away with his life. Peanut. Modern Goblin. Self ultimate. No flash available. Lurking a little bit low. Peanut may just go down. He does. Not able to get the 1v1 now. Currently 5 for 5 for 5.
Yeah, I don't think as this game goes on, they definitely cannot take these fights with the Kale. She's definitely going to get stronger. And can you see actually the farm she was having a bit difficulty in the early laning phase, pulling ahead quite a bit now on farm on the Yorick. So that's going to be something to look out for. And the scaling lanes continue to scale, I guess, into the late game, and I think it's getting harder and harder for PRG to start dealing with these individual members from GHS side.
Flying Pig making his way towards the bot side of the map of the stage.
Garthus' Archangel Staff is almost stacked.
Garthus. Flying Pig able to negate the baby cage thanks to his own assault and battery. PRG now in a little bit of trouble, does end up dying. The rest in peace Yorick, the jungle pressure being applied, the aftershock. Jungle is just too strong, it seems.
Yeah, this Triforce on the Vi is really paying off. It does a lot of damage, more than most people think on these champions, and you can even see on the Yorick.
Death getting not caught out, and the 4-man squeeze most likely should be Baron off that play, but unfortunately Flying Pig. Bottom side of the map, the pings are coming through.
Yeah, Flying Pig just needs to back it out. There we go. You can't afford to be
They
caught
have
for the jungle.
Tons of damage even without the jungle at this point. They're just missing the smite. They've got that rat plus goblin combo. Baron's a kid.
By the way, just to answer your question now, the passive on Carthus is called the Death Defied.
Death Defied. Oh, Flying Pig. Goblin. McLean picking up the kill at the Rampage. Actually, that's 2 members now already dead. Plus the Baron. That is not what you can afford. At least the inhibitor, if not a couple of the Nexus towers off this push, most likely. Drake up the next few seconds there. So let's see what they do. Most likely up to the back out after the inhib. Pings back saying, don't defend the inhib, guys. Let it go. If you fight there, you will lose the game. Oh. Beautiful ultimate coming through from Leona, nicely placed. Unfortunately, not going to be able to capitalize on it, but they do look for the fight. The first Nexus turret now down, and
yeah, I don't think there's much they can do against this comp at the moment.
They need to just try and clear wave the best they can. Last Airblade now alive. Same with Edna Slam and Peanut. But I don't think there's much you can do in this case, and it looks like the second game will be going for the GHs. Hold that thought, actually. Peanut pulling the damage, so no, the Nexus still going to be remaining the last little bit of health, but Prowler heading back through. Dover heading for the hills, that is.
Peanut getting that clutch kill onto the carries there, and unfortunately looks like GHS will have to push another day and not going to get the game just yet. The question is, will PRG be able to deal with them? It seems like they are going to ping to get this Earth Drake.
I should have gone with the first instincts there, the 2 Nexus turrets. Not going to be able to get anything more, but they do overstay, sort of a back and forth, giving them a little bit of hope back into the game.
I mean, there's still going to be a fair bit more time on the Baron, so they can just get this dragon, wait for the team to respawn, and then go for round 2 and get in the game then. No need to try and force things unnecessarily. The Blanc Diana definitely should not try to get picked off here. There's no big reason to throw this. I mean, Earth Drake at this stage not too important. They basically have the game already in the bag. If they are going to give up kills, just leave the dragon rather. But seems like are going to take it indeed.
Oh, LeBlanc, that's a little bit greedy. I mean, Flying Pig can quite easily follow you back over the wall with these assaults and batteries, so you don't want to go for anything like that. It's not worth it just for the mountain. Might be the guy to cause the numbers advantage for the enemy team. So, honestly, I would like to see red side creeping either top or bottom. Otherwise, putting Kale on the side lane with that teleport advantage. There's no reason to shove in mid lane at this point. Close it out properly, slow and steady. Wins the brace, gets the base.
Also want to point out, Kale just did the Raptors to secure herself at level 16.
Power spike.
So that's going to be a level 16 Kale. I do not think they'll be able to deal with that Kale now, having 3 items and level 16. That's going to be pretty big. See some pings coming through on the top lane. Probably just want to... The tower is already fairly low, and the mid lane inhibitor is taken already, so they can just make sure mid wave is pushing and then usher the rest of the minions in top. Then they have to make a decision, where will they defend? Split up the members.
The Baron expiring now means that there'll be no extra enhanced minions to shove it down. You're gonna have to do all the work yourself, the manual labor. Tier 3 turret top side, pretty low in health. Honestly, just going for that bot lane siege, the tier 2 turret available. Close it out to slowly.
Need to watch out though. The Diana is also getting some items. She's definitely going to hurt a lot more now. Even the LeBlanc has 2 items now up. The Merlopicon and the Ludens, they're all getting there as well for themselves. So it's not like PRG is lacking a lot of damage. They just need to get onto the priority targets and find a good pick.
Just look at where McLean is positioning. It's a bit of an interesting one. Super far back. Looking for an opportunity where they may try and capitalize off of the Kale extension.
I mean, Twitch isn't particularly super great at clearing farm since his range isn't that high. And I mean, I think the Sivir, LeBlanc and Diana can easily punish him for walking up. So if it doesn't seem safe, I think it's very good for him to rather not walk up. Because I do think
That's
the Diana
something
can
really be
much...
careful for. Blitz, friend. Why are you so far into their base? Does go down for it.
Exactly what we're talking about. The Blanc on the Twitch now in the back line. He shreds through her.
McLean. Rackman picking up the one kill onto the Diana, but McLean trying to find his opening back. He did not want to fight where the maiden is. Meanwhile, boss line flying pig taking away the inhib. So what I was trying to say before is that you gotta be careful of the situation because you are versing a Sivir. She has a wave for the longer this takes to close out, the stronger she's gonna get. McLean on the other hand, able to pick up the top wave, but fine, trying to dive for the inhib, doesn't get it unfortunately.
And that's on the HSEL. LeBlanc should be able to deal with the Twitch, but that Phantom Dancer keeping him alive just enough to actually 1v1 the LeBlanc and come out successful in that. That's something definitely you can't see have happen. LeBlanc had a perfect opportunity there to take out McLean and she couldn't. McLean being a little bit too fair on that Twitch. Wait a second, I've seen a problem on McLean's build. You cannot build a Hex Drinker and a Phantom Dancer. Works on the same passive. McLean, you messed up, buddy.
One or the other, so perhaps something else would have been better in that case of the magic resist, but that was not it.
I think he could have definitely maybe looked into some lifesteal. Blade of the Rune King could definitely be viable there.
Maybe that's just part of the reason as to why he's a top lane, not AD carry. I don't really get Phantom Dancer and top laners.
It's true.
Which one procs in that case?
I don't know. I think probably the Phantom Dancer. I mean, that's a fully built out item.
And if you fully upgrade the other one?
I don't know. They're going to be both ready at the same time, actually. Would like to know how that interaction works. Probably research it. Yeah, it's you see Kale actually almost done with that death cap. If she's done with that death cap, it's gonna be very bad for them. It's a lot of great defending coming here from PRG, stalling out this game much longer than we think they would.
Have blue side all been ready to collapse and kill them, that would have been the opening for them to snowball. Basically slow the game down for another several minutes, but they kind of need to get a pick at this point because they're versing a Baron Haas team, which means they can quite easily just use the wave. Flying Pig, guessed it hit. Was that worth it though? I don't think so. That's exactly the opening I'm looking for. You know, mid-side Dyna finding the Karthus Requiem. Another slime flash and forward does die anyway, but Modern going just straight for the back door. And Take out Peanut at the same time. This may just be the game as Kale is doing some work as he does make his way towards that Nexus. Doesn't care about the players. He wants the big W. He wants to go to game number 3. And we have a bit of an expert here. The double kill for the Blitzcrank. Does not care. South Ultimate does end up going down. Blitzcrank here to finish off the work. The fists. Not
Will
going
it
to
be?
be up.
No, just not enough. Minions won't finish it off.
The
300
Winions.
health. Look at the red base here. They are losing the bot side inhibitor. There is Sheepii up on the Yorick, and he might actually look at going for that inhibitor. Would he do it? No, this seems like he's not going to risk it. What an insane game this is turning out to be. It looks so close, but I mean, red side just keeps on throwing the game where they could have basically closed out already for a while now.
Second Requiem, actually. What's the cooldown on that at this point?
He actually just killed the LeBlanc, okay. I don't actually see what LeBlanc's health was. Apparently a bit too low. Was actually on his way back to base.
Rekka was on a 72-second cooldown. That is not balanced, my dude. He's used it twice in a row. Fight like not even over.
Wait a second, let me
Fake
quickly look
artist
at
did
his.
die
Oh,
fairly
he has
early.
Ultimate Hunter.
Yeah.
Let's see, does it show how much cooldown that gives? Your ultimate gains 5 reduced cooldown plus 4 per stack. So they're going to be looking at how they will close this game out now. LeBlanc still dead for 3 more seconds. Should be up for the final team fight. But you can see that they are pinging to stack this brush. Maybe looking to see if they maybe just walk outside their base unnecessarily. Pick off an easy target. Kale is going to shove in top lane. Getting that level 18 on the Kale, by the way.
The Death Brush. Flying Pig.
All of them running into the base at the same time. McLean making sure he's safe there in the back line. Invisible now. Will they be looking for something now while he's invisible?
Twitch and Viz. Well, they're probably better off taking the team fighting game for the Nexus back though. They're not exactly behind in terms of gold. A lot of damage, a lot of fighting. McLean in a very interesting position. He gets the rat-tat out of that. It's going to be the game right there. The Requiem, not even going to matter. And GG will play second game going over to the side of GHS. The delay, all it's doing was delaying the inevitable. I mean, it was the GHS dictated match since the Lenny phase. So GG well played, second game done and dusted of the best of 5.
And I mean, we were speculating a lot whether it was going to work or not, the Twitch swap, but actually looking at the damage charts, even though it looked like late game he was doing a lot more work on this Twitch, and he had the most kills in the game, his damage still wasn't up to scratch to the Vi, the Karthus, or the Kale. So I mean, all around the team doing pretty well. The Siva and the Diana still did more damage than the Vi and the Twitch. So I mean, it was actually a very close game considering the damage charts wise. Other than that, very well played from GHS taking game 2. The question is now, will PRG be able to reverse sweep this game? Because that is what's going to have to happen. If PRG wants to take this best out of 5 series and win HSEL for
Only
2019,
one more opportunity.
going to have to do the royalty reverse sweep.
Yep. Otherwise, guys, we'll see you back shortly for game number 3. Get the coffee, get the popcorn. We'll be right back. Look at that trade with the shotgun, and he's going to be doing too much work. The Winions, though, trying to finish off that last little damage. Still the health plus a red buff, keeping him alive.
And it seems like they would just have a last bit of breath in this game. Will West will be able to do anything with this now? Is this going to be that last with Stona missing her ult, and then first trying to go in for the second engage without ult, but then the Vi ulting the wrong person? So a lot of misplays here from Mpangeni High School.
You're going to misplay his first beautiful flash. It's going to be able to finish off Lucian with that early investment, giving him a little bit of time to sort of just watch. But I'd like to see him play a little bit safer until the jungler gank, or potentially when he gets that try force, but very, very shaky play coming through. Deadly Virus force to drop this stopwatch. Then played Leona here for the counter, but Deadly Virus will go down as the Ash arrow connects onto the NASA style. In the box now, Peanut does engage, but Deadly able to finish up the first one. Will Slap go down? He does actually. Great. Double kill, looking for the triple. Airblade. Peanut. Charm. Deadly Virus the triple into that last Bunny Pilot picking the kill onto the support. The first one now down, and Bunny Pilot quite easily picking up that kill.
Maybe they have too many tanks on the team and they're struggling to actually deal damage here, and the main damage dealer was killed very early.
Oh, Blitz missing his first hook, but the DPS not gonna be there either.
The jungle and mid laner. Mid laner maybe could still maybe work with a different comp.
Oh, Galio, Hero's entrance. The knockup's gonna be into the taunt. That's a big knock. Or lockdown rather. Caitlyn in a very good position of just fire off auto attack. She's hitting crits plus the stream's doing some work. But I don't know if she's going to be able to clean it.
Around, gonna try and maybe get the Carly still.
Big Rift Hole going to be abused in the bottom. Nice little cheeky stop. I don't think he needed to go over. He will pay the price. He does end up going down. Unfortunately, the Ash Arrow not able to keep him alive. He cannot kite through the turrets. What are you doing, friend? Dies for it, but the siege continues bot side. The this one off with Inhumane biting off a little bit too much. Tip has been brought in. Curtain call. Last Airblade, Virus, super low, but Airblade does go down as just before Deadly does. That's going to be 3 of his dead. Thresh as well. Yasuo, Flash, auto attack, passive from Nautilus. We'll be able to lock down Abnormal. Inhumane kill with the flash in as well. Bunny Pilot picking up that one, so innovate early game, getting them quite big advantage. Peanut sort of hovering around, doesn't have flash or ulti available, but does have the smite. I don't know about that attempt on the Ash, I'll be honest. I don't see that one ending out well.
I think if you want to
under turret.
Ooh, he's gotta look for the fight actually.
The Malphite instead of the Tristana is an interesting decision. I feel like there's a lot more gold sitting on the Tristana's head, and perhaps a misclick as they were very close to each other, but a cheeky rotation will overstay from the side of red.
I mean, shutdown is a shutdown, and there's gonna be some good gold over to the Mr. Dead.
Yeah, I just want to fight.
Speaking of, there is Vision though. He's standing on a ward. Mordekaiser
looks for the yoink. Bunny Pilot says, "No, friend, I've got my net ready." Trap place. That's a lot of damage plus the beautiful extra 100 range applied. So Blitzcrank getting that pick, just the tip, and Peanut trying to walk away from the
down from PRG. Peanut is still up. He did manage to escape that fight with a little bit of health, so they are going to start it up. This might be a 50-50. Peanut does have smites up. They need to watch out for this. He is really good with the smites. He did manage to steal away
a little bit early. It was blind. Oh, NASA securing the Baron, and a little bit of trouble. The slow going to be applied, but the 2-man lockdown stun as Mr. Poe walks in. The ultimate applied. Rift Herald secured. Demacia, Mr. Poe finishing off Wraith as Berserk takes a lot of damage himself. Mr. Poe flashing in for the last little bit of damage. Not going to reach. Trying to walk away. No flash available. He did, but was an objective to throw out. So this is the big win it or break it moment. Let's see where the blue side EHS starts to rotate off. It's going to be that free objective. It looks like it will be on the blue side. Teleport Trendomir going in very aggressive. Not much rage available, but that's going to be the immediate rejection from Mods. Says, no friend, you're not allowed in this pit.
I'm ready.
3, 2, 1. Drake now on the siege. Blue side starting to rotate, but I don't know if they can contest this at this point. They're so far down. Irelia with a beautiful engage does unfortunately end up just getting deleted. Virus has other plans for her. Blitzcrank trying to be as annoying as possible. Finds the Nautilus.
Flash. It was our Zenith Blade, not our Flash.
Fight top side. Maiden is here. You cannot afford to fight Yorick and his Maiden. It just makes him too powerful, but it looks like he will be forced to flash out in the 1v3 situation. As Maiden is cleared. Nice little hook that's going to be connected, and that will result in a free kill on to Rift Herald. But from Prey to Predator, nice little pick him through Blitzcrank, going to be the first one down. And Inhumane cannot run any further than that. It's about to hit that max distance as Mordekaiser does end up getting the finisher for the kill. The triple kill actually. Hashtag Mordekaiser mains.
Yeah, and looks like our... And again, we have a TP up on Urgot. We have a TP up on Echo.
Gets the pick onto head. Whole little bit of trouble. Lockdown gonna be there. The shutdown is there as well. And Misfortune with the zoning ultimate says, no friends, you're not allowed to step up to this contest. Tier 2 turret now down. We're trying to do the best they can to try and keep that turret alive. Beautiful engagement from Pendragon, able to finish it off as he does pick up the kill on a Draven. So that's going to be the second death on a cash out, but SAB now stuck between a pike and a hard place. Beautiful crescendo, unfortunately not going to be enough as the turret does drop, and SAB able to survive, but here comes Mott, does not care if you're on a turret. He goes for the hop, skip, jump, the double, the jump, trying to walk away from Lycan at this stage with the flash invested now, and that's going to most likely be the shutdown in favor of Blue, so 2-1.
Yeah, I think that's not too bad for Blue side. I mean, they do get the return kill to lock them down enough. Find out next time.
Rams on the other hand says, find out now whether this taunt's going to be enough to finish it off. Zenith Blade does connect through the shroud actually. Big fight, that Surly Club's coming in massive as the Ash Arrow connects. Trying to fight for his life, but unfortunately Kali now dead. Leon as well. Multi-member from either side. So very nice entirely, which is not exactly what you want versus a Nas. You sort of want to snowball the game and close it as soon as possible. Speaking of which, Peanut looking to apply that pressure. He wants to pull the trigger. He does land the reset. A lot of damage. As is popping the ulti for extra load of health, looking for those cane stacks, but Peanut now out of mana, can't actually pull the damage to finish it off, so they both get a bodyguard. Berserk, Bumpkin Boy, beautifully timed with Sandra's self ultimate means that there will not be a Demacia brought down on his head. Holder on the other hand has to flash out of that one to make sure that he stays alive. The silence into that little bit of slither of health, but Bumpkin Boy both surviving with, oh, actually, hold that thought. Paul just getting a free free engage to the fight. Seems like he doesn't want to fight back. They're already using that depth charge.
And see, this is the type of fighting that I've told you that they would be better at, but looks like Mordekaiser has other plans.
Doesn't care, there's a turret there, he's looking for the boy. Caitlyn stuck. Kill the popcorn, it's not going to be there, so it looks like Nasus might be in a bit of trouble. Oh, nope, no snare connection. You know, bot side on the other side, on the opposite side of the map. Peanut picking up the first kill, able to just assassinate Pilot. Trying to go for the second one, does get the double on top side. Oh, inside TP looking to try and catch out the Nasus. Once again, it's the Tryndamere situation all over again. And meanwhile, bot side, Inhumane Killer. Beautiful flay just before death will result in the 1-for-1 trade. AD Carry and AD Carry getting kill. And Nasus down as well. Peanut picking up that one for himself. Taking the driving seat, despite being so far behind in terms of momentum. Only 2k gold difference. No more control. Bot lane does not have TP. Where are you going, friend? The steal not going to be this. Ash takes down, and that's going to be Evelyn now down. This almost a guaranteed team fight now for the side of Blue as they play it perfectly. So, Mordekaiser, very, very clutch. Shadow Realm.
Yeah, it's interesting to notice that also the Galio does have teleport and his ultimate. So that would mean that at most times, looking for the dive.
Yeah, boy.
There it is. And possibly take the game here off of this play.
Yeah, had lost saving grace opportunity. Looks for the kill to Berserk, but not going to be able to get that as the beautifully timed ultimate comes through. As actually hold that till the double kill, looking for that trade, but the shotgun is going to be doing too much work. The Winions though trying to finish off that last little damage. Still available. Flashes in, misses the timbers, but does get the kill nonetheless. And Blade stun on the turret. What are you guys doing? The double, looking for the triple Foster flash out. Peanut coming in a little bit late for that one.
And Deadly Virus them mostly, and then the game one is where they had good landing phases, but they couldn't answer macro-wise. And I wish I saw that again from Mpangeni, but unfortunately, Berserk just not able to 1v5 like he did the previous game.
Yeah, I'll be honest, the chat bot or Streamlabs, I don't know if we're still up or not. Stopwatch coming in, Clash, that little bit of health left. And the fight continues, Wraith does go down, Mott not able to be assassinated for this team fight, so he can quite easily allow his team to win and carry to victory. He got deleted in the previous team fight, and that resulted in the game gang.
Speaking of
Humane going to be flashing plus smiting the cap means that the cap will go over to Peanut, but Humane survives with his life, it seems. Last Airblade might make an attempt, he does. Ignite applied. The Turtle Form shield might just be enough to keep him alive. It will actually. Airblade just walking away from that one.
Wait it out. If they do face check, then we do actually Mr. Poe is a bit low, and they are going to re-back. It's actually a bit risky. I mean, Oh, speaking of
Just
risky.
send a couple of members. Jungler now taking to the Shadow Realm with the QSS, not gonna keep him alive with Mr. Poe's ultimate now down. No smite available from the side of for the double. Ups the back off flash available for the re-attempt. The flash there is Bumpkin Boy just surviving, dropping the smite for a little bit of health back. Jacked up stuff, holding my head, a bit of trouble. No. Rift Child now secured, blue team securing that, so that's gonna be Jack picking them up. Plus the Sindra kill not looking too good as they do neutralize that 4-4.
I'm going to have to look out for this bot lane and then they say that I think later on. At the moment, actually not doing too badly, keeping up with CS. Still pretty even with the Caitlyn, so that's pretty impressive.
Well, that's a bit of fancy feat coming through. Airblade, lots of damage. Does get the solo kill, so that mid lane pressure from Peanut working out quite nicely. Acted out.
Yeah, and I think that could have been very successful for them, but they were sort of split up a bit. Leona was sort of going over to focusing the Thresh. Diana. Rammus.
For the flank, Zenith Blade, the flash out from the Great. First blood going to be going through as Rammus finishes off Diana.
Going for them at the moment was they were making really fast rotations, and that's what sort of keeping them the foot in the game, where red team has the gold lead, but they are making really good proactive rotations.
Oh. And Lycan, very cheeky pick in the mid side. Hold my head now. One. Oh, gets the pick. He's getting below the threshold for that. It looks like it will be enough. Actually, Peanut not necessarily requiring the Fear Beyond Death.
And that's going to be one kill over to Peanut. And I mean, you can see that Volley Bear is just not tanking.
Mr. Poe going to be brought back in that Fear Beyond Death. Nice, he played, make that the doubles Berserk finishes off Kai. So that's now two members of Red Side now dead as jacked up stuff. Looking at Rain Terror, does not care if he's low health. He's going to be that frontline the team needs to try close this game on us. That's going to be Kha'Zix now dead as well. And Nexus under siege as Pendragon cannot attempt. So they haven't started the fight, but Inhumane hitting it. Wait for the Baron at this point as Peanut opts to just finish it. The rest of the team still carrying on the chase. That's going to be two members dead for the trader for one. Double kill now. Aurelian picking up that one. And Abnormal with a flash. It gets the yoink into the boink, and that's going to be the free kill on a Vega. Still a little bit too greedy, but meanwhile, top side, Mr. Poe now. Wait, hang on. That's an interesting interaction. I guess it was Vi that was taken to the Shadow Realm. So the 1v1 into the 1v1 again. But bot side Sona, like I mentioned, overstaying, just luckily surviving. So that's going to be Lucian with the siege of the team needs. And Nasus has the teleport to potentially match and regroup up with the team, but most likely going to be the second inhibitor now down. Peanut for the assassinate, he does get Deadly Virus. That's a big shutdown into the follow-up. Yasuo now alive, catches the support, but the knock-up going to be there from Fire as Yasuo ups the back off. Not going to go for the last breath. Gank post 6 due to the nature of the ultimate. So looks like bot side Pendragon, the flash gonna be the Sona, unable to lock down the support. Unfortunately, Tiny Gamer now done for it, losing half his stacks, and SAB in a little bit of trouble as well. The second one not gonna be there. The flash will be enough to keep him alive just before Mott finishes him off. Thanks to
that's already good for her, so pretty good for her since she doesn't have to rush her IE.
Peanut clearing the pink one, might be in a little bit of trouble. Does get caught out, has the flash available, trying to get to the wall, fails the flash though. Lost like Airblade trying to get to the wave, will go and pay the price as well. The flash jacked up stuff, dash in the waves, the status line comes through. But not exactly what you want to be seeing, as that's got a lot of crucial ultimates now burned from the side of red, which means there should be a free siege coming through. But Berserk has other ideas, looking to try and take out the AD carry as Wraith commits to the Mordekaiser, not the member you want to go on in this case. A very risky attempt, despite there being no flash, a little bit too close for comfort in my opinion. So that's a bit of a scary one. Oh, Streamlabs seems to be freezing a little bit. Apologies about that, guys.
Whether it's jungle, top or mid, it's a good one.
Yep. It's not that. It's a weirdly built full tank Kha'Zix, but looking like Sona gonna be caught out once again. Just instantly deleted Crescendo. Not gonna keep you alive for that one, unfortunately. Wraith opting just to back out. The Blitzcrank. Oh. Trap gonna be able to save him, actually. Beautifully played. Looking to try and walk this one up, but the dredge line says no thanks, friend. You're coming back to me. Leaves it for the missed attempts. Here comes Peanut. Looking to try and get a party position, but like I mentioned before, not a member that you can one-shot. This is where Peanut's gonna struggle. Does actually cancel out the cast, it seems. But Peanut will go down and result. Volibear very aggressively flashing up onto him. And no connection for that thresh hook. Nasus on the other hand, deciding whether he wants to go for the flank. Oh, Pendragon though. Puts Renekton against the Drake. That is not what you can do when your junglers is not there. Garen dying just before that very risky fight or dragon attempt in the first place. This may just be the throw as Red Side is slowly trying to claw their way back in, but Lycan and Wraith going to be taken out by Pyke, assassinated, and that's going to be that gold value share. The thing is, this is even the skin that Trick uses, if I'm not mistaken, of Nasus.
I think the Nasus will probably have to backshot. He has no mana, and he's gonna get dove, I guess. Yep.
Oh, I got pulling the aggro, so it looks like he'll be able to just drop that one and continue for the tower plays. A little bit of late rotation from Deadly Virus. Flash and Barrier still available. Let's kill the T5 meal. Nautilus doing the much as he can to sort of keep the blue side at hand. And Kai'Sa now Dez the 1-for-1. Make that the double. The Punished Child. Berserk coming through. The flash away from Pendragon, but the fight's not done just yet as that micro. Nautilus, Dredgeline not going to keep him alive. The triple kill. And that is not what you can afford.
Multiple members up to deal with Yorick late games, to be honest, I'm pretty sure.
Thrash caught out. Blue side rotation. Deadly Virus picking up that kill. But look at the gold upon the top side. I mean, 25 versus 85 CS. That's oh, hold up thought. He does connect to Carl. He made this off to take it. He does actually. Wraith trying to catch out. No, but unfortunately the flash going to be available. Sonic Crescendo. Ignite applied. Pendragon a bit of trouble. No flash available. He did invest it, but that beautiful hook going to keep him alive. Meanwhile, topside Berserk. Mr. Poe. Jump. Able to survive. A little bit of an early ulti optimistic. Very nicely controlled by Blue.
Just something to remember, the PRG does not have TP on the Urgot. So if he is going to be in the bot side wave and there is a Baron startup and a fight breaks out, then he would not
Nautilus, what are you doing, my friend? You cannot afford to walk up to Baron solo like that at this point in the game. The enemy team has been...
Went 2-0. I believe Peanut did pick up Rift Herald immediately, and while I say that, he is going to the top side, so he is going to alternate on a Teemo.
Oh, unfortunately not going to be able to chain CC. Interesting flash coming through from Peanut. Don't know if he's going to be able to catch this. He does actually. Nicely done.
If this game stalls out long enough, how will they be able to clear waves and consistently like fight? If there's a fight mid and they need to like, you know, duel it out, it's an elongated fight and not. Ooh, that's good.
Beautiful hook coming through. Unfortunately, we'll only get the flash and heal out of Mordekaiser. No death just yet. So
if they can still use these TPs and the side lane pressure of the Trinity, because remember, Trinity is doing fairly well in the top lane. He has 2 CS up. He has a kill. Speaking of ahead.
Tier 1 turret does find Blitzcrank going down to result. That is not a turret you should be trying to defend, but Wraith on the other hand with the overextend. That's
with the farm, he's at the moment a bit behind, so maybe it would be worth it to try and pick up more farm, or in the late game he can maybe just sit in the side lane and then join team fights.
Rumble Transport plus the Dredge line could be enough for the late heal. Not gonna be able to keep him alive. Tiny game of dropping the ball a little bit there, but Sona yet again getting caught out. Done is enough as Pan finishes the kill on the tiny game, and that's Misfortune now done. Tristana is well out. Undying Rage from Jacked Up Stuff says, no friends, you're not touching me. And that stack not quite working out according to plan. Bit of a back and forth. Berserk does go super low. Vladimir ultimate should be enough as the Poe finishes off of that one. The best of their abilities, especially seeing as this is the first game of the tournament, you know, top side. Beautiful cash coming through. Was the Poe very low? Unfortunately, what the pop loss of the title. Wraith not gonna be able to survive yet again the 1-for-1 trade, but it looks like Jack not a massive lead, but it is 3-0 in favor of the side of WHS. So far early game, looking like a blue side dominated match. Meanwhile, bot side it may just be the Lost Stacks tiny gamer. Oh, nice little flash, but the Cal Sona blocking it just in time. A slither of health available, but that depth.
Vision the game of both teams last game already up on CS and 1 assist, so that's something to look out for. Oh,
Malphite double force connecting on only the AD carry, but unfortunately won't allow for either of them to survive as the push away could have been enough, but Pendragon unfortunately picking up the double for himself. Attempt at the Baron. The Crescendo gonna be able to lock down Mr. Poe. 1,000 health left. It looks like the Baron not gonna go down just yet, but it does actually Garen not picking that objective. So that's gonna be reacting dead. Plus the Berserk not gonna get there, just short. And team fight as well as the Baron. Galio gets the tournament team, and that should result in a free kill. Aurelia. PRG. Cheeky fadeaway. Last airblade. I don't know if that's what you want to be doing, guys. You're going for a little bit of a deadly dive. Stopwatch coming in very clutch, actually.
It
Be careful. Why does the Urgot? Oh, okay. Airblade. Peanuts. Evil Logan Humane. Exhaust gonna imply Thresh, the first one down. Urgot not deciding to group with the team, and as a result, do end up losing the Thresh. Why did it up with best support?
Sort of, yeah, I guess so. It feels different to me though. I enjoy her more than others.
Airblade just gonna be deleted by Virus. Doesn't even bother to carry on auto attacking. Let it the Timbers tick away. Peanut though picking the kill on a bunny part. That's